Does the fact that a girl dresses revealingly give anyone an excuse to assault her? When Eun-ji brings food to her brother at work, she often wears a short skirt and casually steps into the shop owner's home to take care of a personal hygiene matter. To help cover the household expenses, she secretly takes a part-time job at a beauty salon after school. What Eun-ji does not realize is that her striking figure has already drawn lustful attention from the men around town. Her brother Jang-woo is deeply worried, so he repeatedly tells her to wear long pants and personally picks her up whenever he has time. But that evening, Jang-woo once again finds Eun-ji at the beauty salon, ignoring his warnings. The town is full of shady characters, and with their parents gone, he only wants to protect his sister from danger. Eun-ji, however, says she also wants to help ease some of the pressure on him. For the first time, the normally close siblings get into a heated argument. Afterward, Jang-woo locks the door and refuses to let his sister go out alone again. Late that night, a troubled Jang-woo goes drinking at a bar. What he does not know is that the moment he leaves home, he and Eun-ji are parting forever. With the door locked, Eun-ji has no choice but to keep pacing around her room. Just then, she begins to hear strange noises coming from beneath the floor. Eun-ji switches on the light and peers downward, but the light suddenly goes out, and a ladder mysteriously rises into place. No one knows how much time passes before a bloodied Eun-ji collapses to her knees. The killer has clearly subjected her to terrible violence, yet the monster still does not seem satisfied. Meanwhile, a completely drunk Jang-woo is still buying Eun-ji a late-night snack at a food stand.
우리 오빠가요. 내가 어디 있는지 귀신같이 찾거든요. 내가 바다 한가운데 있어도 찾아올 거예요. 우리 오빠 올 거예요.
The next morning, Jang-woo discovers that his sister is missing and immediately reports it to the police. The police captain looks completely unconcerned and insists that Eun-ji probably ran away after their argument.
딱 한 3일만 기다려보라며. 응? 죽고 배고프면 있다 이가. 언제 왔는가 집에 와가지고 혼자 라면 끓이고 빠져.
Distraught and unsure what else to do, Jang-woo returns to work at the factory. Just then, a strange woman appears outside. Her name is Si-eun, and she is known throughout town as a witch because she can foresee death and communicate with spirits. Sure enough, Si-eun stares fixedly at the pool as the washing machine inside begins shaking violently. Then the person Jang-woo wants to see more than anyone floats up from beneath the water. Overcome with grief, he cannot believe that his warm, kind, and cheerful sister has become a cold, lifeless body. Who could have done something so cruel? Before long, the townspeople help Jang-woo hold a funeral, and his co-workers are filled with sorrow. A perfectly healthy young woman has died just like that. The group then begins a ritual to summon her spirit. The ritual leader lightly steps onto a blade before hurling a copper bowl filled with rice toward the sea. At that moment, an invisible force begins pulling at the red cloth, and the blade cuts into the leader's feet because the spirit of a little girl is standing on his shoulders. Si-eun sees what is happening and rushes forward to beg him to stop. When the little girl sees the leader in pain, she disappears, and the copper bowl wrapped in red cloth vanishes with her. Jang-woo soon finds the bowl beside some rocks, but a man is standing nearby, habitually twisting his head. When the man hears Jang-woo shout, he quickly leaves. Jang-woo immediately chases after him but eventually loses him. However, the man leaves a footprint behind. Judging by his strange behavior, Jang-woo is certain that he must be connected to Eun-ji's death. He rushes to the market to identify the style of shoe that left the print. Before long, Jang-woo finds a pair identical to the stranger's shoes. The shopkeeper, however, tells him that they are a popular style owned by people in almost every household. Jang-woo suddenly has no idea what to do next. When he turns around, he sees Si-eun standing all alone. Jang-woo immediately confronts her and asks whether she knows how his sister died. To his surprise, Si-eun says she saw it happen because she can see how anyone nearing death is going to die. She hates this ability, and she hates even more that she can never save the people whose deaths she sees. With that, Si-eun leaves. For some time afterward, Jang-woo spends every day sitting inside his beat-up car, staring at Eun-ji's picture with tears streaming down his face. Then he receives a disturbing phone call from his sister's number. When Jang-woo answers, the person on the other end says nothing. There is no doubt that whoever has Eun-ji's phone must be the killer. Jang-woo goes to the phone carrier and asks them to trace the call. The employee, however, demands a large amount of documentation. Jang-woo therefore pulls Si-eun off the street to help him. Unexpectedly, the employee suffers from face blindness. After obtaining the phone's location, Jang-woo and Si-eun head to an abandoned residential area that same night. While the two are searching, a shadowy figure suddenly appears in the distance. Jang-woo immediately gives chase. When he cannot find the man, he decides to call the phone, only to discover that the man is standing right behind him. A chase breaks out through the deserted ruins. The man seems extremely familiar with the area and escapes by grabbing the top of a wall and climbing over it. Jang-woo, meanwhile, falls hard, refusing to give up. He keeps going until he reaches the street. After searching everywhere without success, he prepares to leave. However, the Red Cross sign outside the clinic behind him slowly lights up, suggesting that the owner has just returned.
뭐 드릴까요?
The locals affectionately call him Pharmacist Min because he is not only highly skilled but also incredibly kind-hearted. He shows great sympathy for Jang-woo's situation, warmly hands him plenty of food, and tells him to catch the killer as soon as possible. After their long conversation, Jang-woo relaxes slightly and decides not to investigate any further, preparing to leave with lingering doubts. Just then, Cha Si-eun from property management walks in to buy some gynecological medicine. As Cha Si-eun bends down to pick up the bag of medicine, Pharmacist Min suddenly twists his head. Jang-woo immediately senses that something is wrong because the strange man at the beach on the day of Eun-ji's funeral made the exact same movement. Jang-woo decides not to act rashly and realizes that he must gather evidence to prove whether Pharmacist Min is really the killer. He waits until no one is looking and secretly breaks into Pharmacist Min's home. Sure enough, he finds a pair of shoes in the bathroom identical to the killer's. Jang-woo is instantly consumed by rage. Just as he prepares to storm into the room and confront Pharmacist Min, he discovers that the man has disappeared. Elsewhere, Si-eun is terrified because the little girl has appeared again. The girl then tosses a piece of candy towards Si-eun. Si-eun immediately understands that the candy is a warning that someone else will die tonight. Completely unaware of the danger, Cha Si-eun counts her bills as she prepares to collect property fees door to door. When she passes Unit 612, she suddenly feels a chill behind her and decides to leave. As Cha Si-eun counts the money, she realizes that one bill is missing and sees that it has fallen directly outside the unit's front door. She summons her courage and walks over to pick it up. Before long, the police are investigating the scene, where Cha Si-eun has been killed in a horrific way. Jang-woo shows the police the shoes and insists that Pharmacist Min must be the killer. The captain refuses to believe him and even claims that Jang-woo has lost his mind. With the police unwilling to trust him, Jang-woo has no choice but to continue investigating alone. Over the next several days, he follows Pharmacist Min and discovers that the man does almost the same thing every day, visiting elderly people who live alone to help care for them. He even walks to a nursing home to save money and shaves the bedridden residents there. None of this convinces Jang-woo to lower his guard. Then one day, he suddenly notices a security camera outside his home. His co-workers bought it together, so Jang-woo has never paid attention to it before. When he checks the footage, he discovers that Pharmacist Min's car was parked outside his home on the night Eun-ji died. That means Pharmacist Min is the killer. However, as Jang-woo continues following Min, he loses track of him. Elsewhere, Si-eun suddenly senses that another tragedy is about to occur. Sure enough, Pharmacist Min has paid a sex worker to meet him inside an abandoned school. He does nothing to her at first and even praises her for being straightforward, saying she is 100 times better than women who constantly lie. Having already been paid, the woman jokingly asks whether he killed Eun-ji and Cha Si-eun. The question instantly enrages Pharmacist Min. He asks whether he does not look righteous enough. He also claims that women understand nothing. Just as he is about to attack, Si-eun secretly smashes a window. The sex worker escapes with her life, but Si-eun places herself in danger. At that moment, Jang-woo calls Si-eun. causing her phone to vibrate repeatedly.
시은이?
Realizing that she is in danger, Jang-woo calls the police as he runs toward her. The captain responds slowly and dismissively because he has never taken these murder cases seriously. Jang-woo finally reaches the school and immediately punches pharmacist Min, to his disbelief. The captain later beats Jang-woo at the police station and insists that there is no evidence whatsoever that pharmacist Min has committed a crime. Devastated and hopeless, Jang-woo is locked up. Pharmacist Min finally drops the act and openly pulls out Eun-ji's phone. He says he found Eun-ji's extremely flirtatious words and behavior disgusting. When no one is looking, the deranged pharmacist Min even plays Jang-woo the video he recorded while killing Eun-ji. Jang-woo was left speechless with agony, feeling as though his heart is being wrung out and torn to pieces. He cannot imagine how desperate his sister must have felt before she died. Even more heartbreaking is the fact that no one in the entire police station pays any attention to his hysterical screams. In the end, Jang-woo can only watch helplessly as pharmacist Min deletes the video. During the drive back, pharmacist Min seems to feel a trace of sadness and extends the hand holding Eun-ji's phone out the window. The captain, who is driving, then receives a call from one of his subordinates. After a thorough investigation, the police have uncovered pharmacist Min's past. There is a house on the mountain behind town where an entire family was murdered several decades ago. The owner of that house was pharmacist Min's father. An illness had left him bedridden, and he had a son and a daughter. His young daughter had autism, so their stepmother would coax her with candy whenever she wanted the girl to do something. While the father was bedridden, the stepmother also had an affair, and she and her lover frequently abused the children. Then one day, the father's condition became critical, and he was close to death. Pharmacist Min, still only a child, hurried to ask his stepmother to help save him. Instead, she beat him for knocking too loudly and locked him inside a dark room. When he finally came to his senses, he discovered that his sister had been beaten to death. Even then, the heartless couple were still discussing how they would divide the house after his father died. From that moment on, the hatred inside pharmacist Min continued to grow until he killed them both without hesitation. By now, pharmacist Min has captured Si-eun and tied her tightly to a bed. He says he cannot stand women who dress provocatively because a woman like that destroyed his childhood. If that had never happened, he believes he would have lived a wonderfully happy life with his father and sister. Pharmacist Min has completely lost his mind and even accuses Si-eun of being an indecent woman before moving to kill her. Just then, Jang-woo appears. The two men immediately begin fighting. Pharmacist Min drives a carving knife deep into Jang-woo's abdomen. Jang-woo suddenly summons all his strength and charges into pharmacist Min, sending both men plunging from the tall building. When the dust settles, pharmacist Min is the only one who has died from the fall. At the critical moment, Si-eun managed to catch Jang-woo's hand. The little girl is now lying quietly beside pharmacist Min. With one final death, everything finally comes to an end. Spring has quietly arrived, and Jang-woo scatters Eun-ji's ashes over the sea. Si-eun's supernatural ability has also disappeared. Every tragedy in this world can give birth to a deep and agonizing hatred. Overall, this can be considered a heartwarming ending. The movie still makes one important point: some evil is utterly senseless, and merely dressing revealingly can be used as an excuse to assault someone. It may sound unbelievable, but many such cases have occurred in real life. So please remember to protect yourself.